So I don't want this video to come off as a response to somebody else's video about the situation, but I'm basically basing most of my points off of that video in particular, or more so what I said under that person's video. So if you want to check out what I'm talking about, definitely check it out after watching this. But hi, yes, hey, hello, it's Bora. Cue the intro. Okay, so I'm coming at this situation as someone who is not really a stan of either Damon and Joe. I am actually more familiar with Shutupandgo, and I haven't really been keeping up with them in recent years. But when I was in New York a couple months ago, my friend actually showed me Damon's video, and I didn't really think much of it. But then, for some reason, the algorithm started to kind of send me response videos to Damon's video, and now I have thoughts after seeing those videos. So basically, I think I want to start off with the first point is that I don't... So if Joe was my friend and what she did to Damon, she did to me, obviously I would be mad. I would have a problem with it. But as kind of an outsider, I feel like I don't feel that same way, and of course it's like, well, duh, you're not going through it. But let me kind of elaborate on that. So I think everyone, or I hope everyone, can kind of agree that they don't have a problem with the fact that Joe took this opportunity in regards to Netflix, but I guess the book, which I'm not really sure if it's out yet, but the way she did it. And I will agree on that end that the way she went about it might have been kind of, yeah, high-key shady, but I also think we should note that it's not unheard of. I don't know if any of you know this podcast called Call Her Daddy. I was watching a video from Kimberly Nicole Foster that basically broke down how this podcast got to the point where it is today, and I'll kind of do a brief on it so you can get more context on where I'm going at. So Call Her Daddy was a podcast that was on Barstool Sports Network, and it was hosted by two white women, okay? And they were getting to the end of the contract. I believe they were in negotiations, and there were some issues between the co-hosts. So one host wanted to keep negotiating whatever the terms are, maybe their pay and stuff like that. And the other one kind of was secretly negotiating something else on the side and not letting the other person know, even though I think they were best friends and I'm pretty sure they were living with each other. Again, watch Kimberly Nicole Foster's video on this for more detail on the situation. But essentially what happened is the one co-host basically cut the other girl out and now has a multi-million-dollar deal with Spotify. All right, these are two white women. I mean, I haven't been researching too much on the discourse around this. I'm sure there are people that are like, you wronged your co-host. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, people do this all the time. People do it all the time. People screw over their friends all the time, especially when it comes to money, business, or reputation. Even people screw over their family, so I don't really see why I get it, but I don't understand the vitriol that seems to be directed mainly at Joe. And I get it, what she did was shady. If she was my friend, did that, I would be mad too. But I feel like part of it, I think some of you though, some of you are a little too quick to come for black women for me, okay? I feel like that has a lot to do with it. I feel like the fact that Joe is black has a lot to do with the energy, or not just the energy, but the amount of energy people have for how she went about things. And again, I'm not saying how she went about things was great, but it's not like she's the first person to ever do this. And I said this in my comment, white people do this to each other all the time. Now, am I saying because white people do it, she should do it? Not necessarily, but I just feel like the energy is up here for her, and it's not entirely innocent. Honestly, I feel like the way Joe went about things again is wrong, but she also kind of gives me this vibe from a TikTok that goes basically F capitalism, but I'm a child of immigrants and my parents did not fly to the country for me to be poor. I feel like if we could sum up this situation, that could do a lot with the mentality of how she went about things. Because in the video that I left a comment on, they acknowledge that both Damon and Joe came up from, you know, not privileged backgrounds. They both grew up poor, and they were able to make their traveling work on a poor budget. But I think we need to acknowledge the added layer that not only is Joe black, she was an undocumented immigrant, which adds on to a lot more other things. So I think the hunger for success, the hunger to be financially stable is at least 20% more than what Damon probably had. Because I'm sorry, no, I'm not sorry. Damon is a white man. Like, why am I apologizing? That is just a fact. I'm not saying every white person has it easy, every white person has it all together, but I'm saying from a societal standpoint, Damon is a way better position than Joe is and always has been. I also think, I don't want this to seem like a response to the video that I basically commented on, but I also don't like how there seems to be some discourse that the fact that Joe is where she is today because there's a white man beside her, which is very unfair because it can go the other way around. You could easily argue, oh, Damon wasn't where he is today because there was a black woman next to him. Like, I think they both mutually benefited from their friendship, and it's unfair to act like one person did all the legwork. Just wanted to point that out. I also want to mention the fact that, because I think people acknowledge this, but they don't take this acknowledgement and put into action with their words. The fact that we only have one side to this story and we don't know the full story because of that. So to make just quick judgments off of Joe's actions based off of one person's side is kind of unfair. And yeah, you can go, well, she's not telling us her side, so that's all we have to go off of. That is very true, but I feel like if she doesn't feel like she really owes an explanation, or let me even say, if she doesn't feel like there needs to be an explanation to what went down, then we kind of have to accept that. I mean, it's not like any of us can force her hand to record a video and tell us what's up. So just going off of what one person said and not fully acknowledging that we only have that one account of the story is not really productive for anybody, because then, I mean, David could say literally anything and we're just gonna have to take it as Bible. I think we need to be a little bit more careful when we're making judgments like that. I also want to add that the fact that Joe was even hiding some book deal or something like that, if it started with that, I don't really know the exact timeline of things, but if it started with that, I feel like there are already cracks in that friendship if she was hiding the book deal before the Netflix thing. I just want to add that and maybe give that a little bit more attention, because if it wasn't the first time she did something like that, then maybe there's a reason we don't know. And again, I still feel like everything, how she handled it was, I think everybody can agree that it was a bit shady, but at the same time, there's still so much we don't know. There's still so much we don't know. I also want to kind of highlight some comments that were under my comment on the video that if you want to see it, please watch it after this video and make your own conclusions. But I just want to kind of talk about some of those comments and see if I agree with them or if I have any additional thoughts that I didn't bring up. Okay, so one person said, but white people do, they're quoting me, but white people do that to each other all the time. Yes, this point here. I agree, and even want to add and emphasize that they often do it to people of color too, who we all know have the added issue of racism to deal with when trying to build a better life for ourselves. Okay, just wanted to add that. I think I agree with that. All right, here's another one. I can't with everyone jumping on the Joe hate train off of a single video Damon made. We all watched their channel for years and loved Joe for her diversity, and now that a white man Jira and says he wasn't chosen for an opportunity, they took the black girl instead, it's off with Joe's head. I mean, I guess if that's what y'all want to do. Yeah, that's the other point that I am going to mention right now, is that Netflix chose Joe. Like, that is not really her fault. Yes, they pitched Netflix together, but if they approached her separately, then I think she has every right to do what's best for her. I mean, I don't know if they had any contracts. I don't remember if Damon said anything like that about like exclusive, like only we work as a duo or not at all. I don't remember that. I feel like that wasn't an agreement. So I'm like a casual fan at most of Damon and Joe. I just mainly know them from Shut Up and Go stuff. So take with that information what you will. But I feel like we definitely need to just acknowledge that Joe is a black immigrant, and you know, it's tough out here. It's tough out here. And good for her. Good for her. I feel like I should be cast in the live action of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Notre Dame? Notre Dame. I look like that one girl with this shirt and then like my hair up here.
Who's that girl? Who's that girl? It's
Bora.